So, we're going to talk about the trailer for Until Dawn. I did a video about 3 days ago talking about when they were talking about like concepts and, you know, what the movie could be about, and I was pretty positive about it. Like, I basically gave like a pretty positive outlook on the film as a whole. Basically saying like there was like I think it was a smart idea to do the idea of not following the video game specifically, and I still think to an extent that was a smart idea. I think that was a good idea, because then you're just going to piss off everybody. And we are living in an age of video game movies that are slowly, you know, there are still bad ones. Like, for every Fallout, there's, you know, Borderlands. For every, you know, Sonic, there is a new Mortal Kombat movie. I know that movie isn't hated, and I don't hate it as much as like Annihilation level, but I still didn't like it. I will say this, that, and I'm sorry I'm going on a tangent, I will say that I am curious to see the new Mortal Kombat movie, only because Karl Urban is playing Johnny Cage, and I kind of want to see how he would do that. Anyway, but like I'm saying, is that we're still not there yet. Like, for we still got, you know, for Sonic and Fallout and Last of Us, there's like Halo and Borderlands and Mortal Kombat and several others. So we're still not there yet, and this easily walks the line. Already, we're kind of like with, you know, when Sony was put on board, because I forgot Sony. I didn't talk about before, but like when they said Sony was the company behind it, I went, oh no. But I will say the director, I think they got a pretty solid director in David S. Sandberg, who, yes, he did do the Shazam movies, and I like Shazam 1. Fury of the Gods can suck a dick, but I don't fully blame that on him. That was more studio interference than anything else, I think. But he did do Lights Out, which I think is a solid PG-13 horror film. I think it's pretty solid. And Annabelle Creation, which is actually, I really like that movie. It's one of my favorites of the Conjuring universe, and that prequel is so much better than the Annabelle movie itself. And Annabelle Comes Home. It's one of the better movies. So Sandberg is like a solid horror director. So I think as they did have the good goddamn common sense to get a horror director for a horror video game. I will say that. Now, the big thing is that it is cool to see Peter Stormare in the film, although he's not playing the interlude character. He's just playing a cameo role. Maybe he could still like shock us and be like, oh, he was the guy the whole time. But it is cool that they at least got Peter Stormare in the film. I'm like, oh, thank God. I was worried there for a sec. But the whole film looks like I know some people, and I'm going to argue this for a second, if you'll allow me, is that the whole premise of the film is that the characters have to keep making decisions in order to survive the night, and they have only apparently 13 nights to get out or survive until dawn. And when they said, one of the characters said, we have to survive until dawn, I went, yeah, it's like the Peter Griffin meme. He said it. He said the title. But the thing of it is that, like, it feels more like... It feels a little generic, and I know some people are going to say, why didn't they call it just a Dark Pictures film? Because the thing of it is that it does feel like a Dark Pictures anthology, more than Until Dawn. Until Dawn has more market value. Like, you're not... Like, a lot of people are just like, Dark Pictures, what's that? Because not everyone's played the Dark Pictures games. Anthology games. So I think it was a smarter idea to give it Until Dawn and also not make it close to the original story. Having said that, though, if that's the case, why the fuck are we even using monsters and slashers from the I clearly saw a Wendigo and Rami Malek's slasher character in several of those scenes. So why the fuck are we doing that? If we're not going to follow the original story, it actually feels more like Cabin in the Woods. Yeah, it really feels more like we're trying to do Cabin in the Woods. And I'm pretty sure I saw two other things from the Dark... so, if you wanted this to be an original story in the universe of Until Dawn, I was open to that. In fact, I've said that multiple times, that movies give you the opportunity to do something different than originally planned. Like, you can do... you could have a story set in that universe and be like a, spin-off take of it. And that's what they said they were doing with this. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I watched the trailer and I'm like, where is this playing in? Like, where in the fuck is this playing into the universe? Because it really just feels like a greatest hits take and more like you're ripping off Cabin in the Woods. That's my problem. Like, now we're like, there's where where my hesitation and like my basically my whole thing of, then why call it now I see why people are like, then why call it Until Dawn? Where I'm like, okay, as long as you had the game mechanics, I could understand it. Like, if they had the totems that allowed you to see people's deaths or things of that nature, cool. Then that earns the title of an Until Dawn story without being the original movie. But now it just feels like you're just doing the greatest hits, and you're not even a Dark Pictures anthology at that point. You're like just throwing in IP. So what's the point? Like, so what is the point of calling... Now I am in that camp of, what is the goddamn point of calling it Until Dawn movie? Oh, because you have the Wendigo and the slasher character. And I think I saw, like, two other things in this film that are, like, from the other anthologies. What's the goddamn point? Just call... Like, clearly you saw... Cabin in the Wood, and I know I keep harking back on Cabin in the Woods, I know, but it just feels like they're just trying to do that and not be clever about it. That's why I keep harking back on it. Now, could this movie still be good? I do think, like, every movie has the capacity to be good. I call it now the First Omen effect, where I had no hope in First Omen, I was mocking it mercilessly, and then I saw the movie, I was like, holy shit, and it became my favorite movie of last year. So... there's a chance this movie could work. But between Sony and not even bothering with the game mechanics, you're just ripping off not only Cabin in the Woods with that, you're also ripping off Freaky. Or not Freaky, excuse me, Happy Death Day. Cool. Cool. So, yeah, I have to ask again, why is this an Until Dawn movie? Because I was all like, yeah, if you just had it be... like, people going to this cabin and encountering monsters, but how the thing of it is like, you still have, like, the totems or the cards that allow people to, like, see people's deaths. Cool. That could have been, like, you could have done that. And I know people have said, oh, they're ripping off Final Destination. Well, to be fair, Until Dawn did rip off just a bit of Final Destination with that game mechanic. But still, you could have done that instead of, like, whatever the fuck this plot line is. And it's also funny because as of this recording, apparently the new Final Destination movie will be coming out the same day as this movie. So I'm pretty sure one of those films are going to move, and I guarantee, and I'm more willing to bet that the one that's going to move is the Sony movie. Anyway, so I still want to see this movie, but at the same time, I'm like, wow, my interest in this just dropped by 50%. And my expectations might drop lower. Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of this trailer? Like it, hate it, comment below, let me know. Other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in Multiverse.